What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast with my boy Pedro. I just looked at the score. My Nets are losing again. They're playing the Bucks right now, and they were tied maybe half an hour ago, and
the Bucks
now
are
they're losing. They're
man.
down by 10. So
they're doing better than the Lakers. Lakers look like garbage, man.
you know what? We can get right into it.
They look rough.
You are the biggest LeBron supporter I know. So explain yourself. Why does the Lakers suck? Like, what's going on with them?
They don't have perimeter shooting. They're old.
That.
They're slow. And I think they don't have a great coach. I think there's a lot. There's a lot there. And I think LeBron is 20 years in. He's still in physically great shape, can still ball out. But 20 years in, guys don't carry teams, and he's going to have to carry that team. And they're going to have a rough year if they continue to play at this level. Very early still, but I think they lost their first 3 games or something. I mean, you just can't.
They lost to the Spurs. I don't even know who's on the Spurs, but they have Pat Bev. I thought that was the key. That was going to unlock everything. Got Pat Bev throwing threes.
It's bad, man. It's bad. There's a lot of good teams in the West as well. There's a lot of good teams in the West. So at this point, man, like I thought they can still make the playoffs. It's very early. I don't want to be too recency biased, but like they just don't look good. When I watch them play a little bit, I haven't seen every game, but it's hard to watch because they just look very behind the times of today's NBA. They're very slow. They don't have shooters. And in order to win in today's NBA, you got to have some perimeter shooting and you got to be able to push the pace. They can't do either. So it's rough to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. And it like, I do agree with you. It's very early. I am tired. I'm tired of watching sometimes the analysis, the people on TV. The season just started. So my Brooklyn Nets are, if you may not know, are not doing all that well either. Ben Simmons seems like he forgot how to play basketball. Like he just seems a little lost, right? But he'll still throw 10 assists. He probably has 10 assists right now. Like last time I saw it, he had 9. But it just seems like he's just out of it. And I'm thinking, you know what? He hasn't played for a long time. He'll get it. But right now, they weren't holding themselves up with the Bucks, but they're not playing all that well either. But it's still the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Shout out to everyone that's in the chat. We was already yelling about basketball right now, but
we just started. We're ready.
We just started. So even like the Golden State Warriors, people already saying, "Yep, too old. Clay's not the same. Draymond's not the same." I don't know. Like the season just started, guys.
It did just start.
Hold on a bit. They still got. I mean, Golden State Warriors still has shooters. They still have youth. Jordan Poole is not old.
Jordan Poole looked great the other night. I saw his highlights from the other night. He looked really good.
They're gonna be fine. But you got Charles Barkley, and that's the thing too about a lot of these people who are on TV talking about sports. They got the Stephen A. Skip Bayless syndrome. Say the most outlandish, 0 to 100 thing. Yep, I don't know. They're too old. It's like, well, the season just started. You want to give it 10, 15 games before we decide who's real and who isn't? I don't know. It's hard.
A good point. It's a good point. 10 or once you get about 20 games in, if you're playing good or not. Once you get to the All-Star break, at that point you kind of know who's going to be probably in the playoff contention.
Right.
And then you can see, okay, are we going to stay healthy? It's just like football. First 2-3 weeks, once you get to week right about now in football, who's good. Who the contenders and the pretenders are, right? So we're not there yet in NBA, but not a good start for some of the big market teams. So
hopefully that kind of turns around. And we have someone in the chat asking about your drip that you're wearing. Oh, because as much as this is audio medium, this is YouTube, right?
I just
asking, are you wearing the Chicago Blackhawks jersey?
Blackhawks, baby. Yep. Blackhawks hockey started last week. I'm from Chicago, as many of you or some of you might know. I'm from Chicago, but I live in St. Louis. So
we can tell you're crying about the Bears.
Say what?
You're crying about the Bears. So we know.
Oh, we won. Hold on. Well, we won on Monday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We looked really good. We scored 30-something points. I mean, we're not the Giants. We're not going to the Super Bowl, but we won. So I'll take it.
We'll talk about that. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna try to watch some hockey because it does look interesting. And the first thing I should do is get a hockey game because that's how I get into sports that I don't normally play. Like I like watching soccer because FIFA. If FIFA didn't come out, I probably wouldn't have
Yeah.
even care about it. But I actually could follow the game. I understand it because FIFA is fun to play. That's how video games work in terms of Madden. I think a lot of people got introduced to football because of that Madden.
Yeah.
And Madden sucks ass right now, but there's only football game in town. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to get into it. Rangers got the Islanders, got a little bit of everything. Got two teams. I don't think they're good. I think they are. Who knows? And I'll jump in. I'll put some hockey analysis
You
later.
know what I would do? I would if you're gonna do hockey, if you're not gonna do it, if you went live, like if me and you went to a game, bro. If I came to NY,
Oh
we
yeah,
went
oh
to
yeah,
see the
definitely.
rank, that would be you'd have a great time. Trust me.
Yeah.
But I would say if you're gonna watch, you don't need to watch the whole thing. It's very similar to the NBA. Watch the last 6 minutes of like a third quarter, which is our
Mhm.
third period. Okay, there's 3 periods or whatever in hockey,
Yeah.
and watch a hockey that's close, like it's 2-1 or 1-0 or 3-2. There's like a one goal difference. Tune into a game like that where this the last 5 or 6 minutes. I think you might like it. That's where I would start with you and kind of go from there. That's my advice.
Well, since you are the resident hockey expert, explain the. Cause I saw this yesterday in a I think it was Instagram. Explain the octopus thing. So the team's winning.
Oh,
Some person takes a raw octopus and just
yeah,
throw it into the rink.
yeah.
What is that about?
Listen,
Like
I don't. That's only in certain cities.
you're
I
right.
couldn't tell you the full story behind it, but I'm not a hockey expert. I know very little. I know a little bit, but this was given to me. I've had this jersey, as they call it, or sweater. I think it's what they actually call it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like 12 years. I think I've worn it like 5 times. So I don't want to like fool y'all. But the octopus thing is something. There's a history behind it. I'll have to look it up. I do know like if a player scores 3 goals in a game,
Right.
they throw hats. It's called a hat trick. They throw hats
Yeah.
on the rink, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of hockey's got a lot of weird backstory, little things that they do. They're
I'm
allowed to
assuming it's a
fight and do all
positive thing
kinds of
because they
stuff.
wouldn't
Yeah,
lose. It was like they're losing and then someone throws an
yeah,
octopus. It will actually be
yeah, yeah.
funny. Like
No, it's listen, a live hockey game is legit, man. I'm telling you, it's very, very, very fun. So
yeah, I gotta check that out. And I actually like eating octopus. Are you a fan?
octopus salad. I'm from Puerto Rico, bro. We eat that
Oh
shit
yeah, all
almost
right.
daily. Yeah, I love
Well, I'm
octopus.
looking at like I saw the video. I was like, damn, that's some good octopus. Just throwing it out in
Oh.
the rink. You could have cooked that up. I'm
I
like,
mean,
all
that's
right.
like yeah, those octopuses is going for like a hundo right now, man. They're so expensive. Yeah,
They threw it was a big one too. It was the guy was very excited as he chucked it
yeah,
into to the rink.
yeah.
But you know what? And here we learned some things. We're gonna look up. We're gonna do some research, figure out what the
I gotta
hell this
find
whole
out. Yeah,
octopus thing is
that's
doing.
that's
But we're
weird.
gonna continue on talking about championships. The Giants are 6-1 now. So I know it bothers you. It hurts you to your core, and I don't know what to tell you. This is how it's done. It's interesting. You showed me this clip.
Let's play it. It's funny, man. Listen,
It's funny.
I give Hannibal shit because we have this little side bet, but at the end of the day, if the Giants are playing good and Hannibal's happy with that, I'm good with it. But this clip was kind of funny. I sent it to him this
This clip is very funny, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about how some of the fans in New York are feeling. But let's play it real quick.
You good, bro? What are you doing?
Oh, I was just trying to look for teams that can beat us, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Big fucking blue, we can't lose. Stop talking to me, man.
Y'all the worst 5-1 team ever.
Huh? But we going to the Super Bowl. Fuck what you talking about. What the fuck?
You got Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
But we just beat Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson. For last time, stop talking to me.
Odell not even on the team no more. What is
He's
he?
coming back, bro. Don't be mad. You a Panthers fan or some shit?
That's all New York. That's New
good,
York.
bro. I saw it. And I thought of you
Like,
instantly.
yeah, but it's funny. That's how most people speak here. And it's interesting when I say I am born and raised in Brooklyn, right? Like I'm born and raised in New York City. And they're looking like, really? You don't sound like it. I'm like, I know. Like
Yeah.
I've been in New York City longer than that young man has been alive. And for some reason, it just, nerd stuff. My father lived that kind of life. And I guess it's funny. He was able to, what do you call that term? Code switching? Like you can, you could talk this way with your boys, but then my father would go on the phone and he would sound like, this is back then with
He'd flip a
being
switch.
ignorant. He sound like a white
Yeah.
person. Like, damn,
Yeah,
he sound like, he's able to talk with, he's able to articulate. And then, that was like an ignorant kind of thought, but that's how we used to think back in the day where someone spoke like a white person, even though that's totally bullshit. But, but yeah, that's how everyone speaks. And yes, when you go and turn on sports news talk or whatever, people are like calling, New York City radio hosts and say, hey, listen, so you think if we can, get to the Eagles, beat the Eagles, or, we can maybe, it'll be a 1-score game probably. We'll probably go to the Super Bowl. And they're like, yo, slow down. It's like, what are you talking about?
Listen, the Eagles just signed Robert Quinn from the Bears. Mm-hmm. The Eagles loaded up. So
ain't no way. Is no way. And then shout out to Bobby.
Excuse me.
Giants versus the Jets Super Bowl, calling it right now. But he is 3 pours in. So be nice to Bobby. He's having a good time. Let him live.
What did he say? 3 pours?
He's 3 pours in. So that means he's he's enjoying
okay,
himself.
Got it. He's having a good night. Okay.
He's having a good night. But no. Actually, it's funny. It sounded like Nova Dash was talking to that guy. He's like, they're the worst 5-1 team ever,
I mean, listen, the Giants, they've beaten some good team. They beat the Packers. Well, the Packers are trash. I can say that right now. And I hate the Packers because I'm a Bears fan. The Packers are trash. They did beat the Ravens. Ravens are...
They're figuring it out. I don't know. I think like Lamar he had a chance to win that game. I think there's he's thinking about that contract, man. Who wouldn't?
I mean, he's playing good. It's just the Ravens ain't winning a Super Bowl. Okay. Now the Giants have a good defense. Mm-hmm. I think they got a good rookie coach. But you guys still have Daniel Jones as your quarterback.
We got Danny Dimes, and all he does is win, no matter what.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Okay. The Eagles right now, like I said, they got Robert Quinn from the Bears for a 4th-round pick, which is a steal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I understand why the Bears did it. The Bears unloaded a lot of cap space. The Bears are 3rd place in the NFC North. They're 3-4. Could the Bears get in the playoff as a wild card? I wouldn't be surprised. I think, I wouldn't be surprised by it. But the Eagles loaded up. The Eagles had a good defense already. And they got an excellent pass rusher, which is what you need in the playoffs. Yeah. I think Jalen Hurts is MVP candidate. So do I see the Giants beating the Eagles? I don't know. I doubt that. But anything can happen.
You want to bet on that?
I'm not going to bet with you anymore. I keep losing.
So. Nice, smart.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say it, but not like
You never know with Danny Dimes. He may run 80 yards. He may run 10 and trip and fall like he did last. What's wrong with him? He runs and then he'll just fall on his legs. You know what? Too fast. His legs are too strong.
He's white lightning. Yeah. He's so fast.
I don't know. If we didn't have this podcast, they probably would be 0-6. It's just some juju that it was reverse juju where they're just winning in spite of they have 4 wins, coming back wins. They're not winning. They're losing in the 4th quarter. Just turn around and win 4.
And they have. And I think with the Giants, what I've seen so far, I haven't watched every game, but what I've seen, Saquon's having a good year. He's staying healthy. Okay, they're running the ball really well. I think their play calling's been really good, which I'm not surprised because their head coach is a good offensive play caller. Their defense has been stout, and they've made timely turnovers in the 4th quarter and in second halves, right?
Yeah.
And that's what, that's what's gotten the recipe to win. And Danny Dimes has been good when he needed to be good. He's not going to throw for 400 yards and do all this crazy stuff. He's not one of those kind of guys, but I mean, they're 6-1. You can't argue
him. I mean, he molded Josh Allen. Well, if he molds,
he ain't Josh Allen. Let's stop.
He was credited to help because remember the first year he didn't light it up. No one thought he was going to be the guy, and that coach kind of came in and saved the day, kind of faked him out. I mean, who knows? I mean, he's saying it right now. Giants 27, Eagles gonna be 0.
Bye, Rodney. Bye. Rodney, bye.
Rodney's
I like you, Rodney. I like you. That's ridiculous. I'll tell you what, if the Eagles score 0 points versus the Giants, I mean, that's
a good bet. I mean, that's not a good bet, but that's a bet. You'll make some money. Where's Levi? He'll probably say that. They're gonna go.
Yeah, Levi thinks, Danny Dimes is a Hall of Famer. Saquon's winning MVP, and the Giants are gonna blow out the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's what Levi
He
would say.
did say that Saquon's the best running back, and I haven't looked at the numbers, but I'm sure he's up to. He is. If he wasn't on the team, they're not winning these games. So
Probably not. Yeah,
he's playing his ass off as they always do when it's contract time. When it's time to get a contract, all of a sudden they play every down if they needed to. They'll play. You know, they sign that contract.
Money's
and
a good
like,
motivator. I mean, money's a motivator. So
yeah.
I mean, I'm not
so
surprised.
that's why franchises asked to not sign for no long-term contract. That's
you can't sign long-term running backs. You can't do it. It's not a smart business move. In the NFL, I think.
Definitely. But shout out to your Bears. They did win.
That was an impressive win. That was we looked good. Justin Fields looked good. Defense looked good. We put up a lot of points.
Yeah.
I was happy with it. Yeah, I was surprised. I'm not gonna lie. The Patriots. I mean, damn.
Pretty good, and you know how Belichick handles young quarterbacks. But I felt good. I felt like like when you see little bro doing well, like you're the man. But your little bro was finally win one. You're like, that's good, bro.
I'm gonna remember you said that. I'm gonna bring that back in a couple of weeks when the Giants lose 3 in a row or some shit. Watch.
Week playoffs. Okay, you said a couple weeks ago you said they're not gonna make the playoffs. Playoffs at least. That's all. I'm not gonna go crazy and say championship. I'm not crazy, but playoffs definitely.
All right. I could still see the Giants finishing 3rd in the NFC East. I mean, I could see them. I could see Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, Washington Redskins. I think or Washington Commanders. I think at the end of the year, I think that's going to be the standings. Remember that I said that.
Yeah, definitely. They're gonna have to definitely squeeze into the wild card because Eagles is running away with it. And Saquon is 2nd in rushing. So yeah, without him, they don't have a chance. Is Daniel Jones the best running quarterback in football?
What?
I mean, he has to run. He got to run for his life sometimes. But LeBron Jackson got that by
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen didn't have to run as much.
Jalen Hurts right now probably has the most rushing touchdowns in the last 2 years. Jalen Hurts is probably a better running quarterback than Danny Dimes. This
is reverse racism because he's a white guy. He can't be the best running quarterback. How dare you?
He can't. He can't. I mean, the only white running back, the only white quarterback that can run like that was Steve Young. Shout out to Steve.
Oh yeah. He was a beast.
He was legit.
He was shout out to Steve Young. Yeah. You know what? Should we just get into this whole Kanye West situation?
Listen, let's get into it.
The hell?
Listen,
we talk about him more than anybody else of all the artists. We both love Kanye.
I love Kanye West, and you know what? I'm gonna say some things tonight that some of you guys will not agree with.
No shit. Okay, all right, well, make sure, dude. We don't want to get canceled here.
No, nobody's getting canceled. Ain't nobody getting no. We ain't nobody yet. We ain't there yet. Don't worry about it. Listen, we got to speak our truth, right? But I feel like I want to play like a little intro music. I should have sent you the little Kanye West song I'd like to play as a sample. But
yeah,
do you guys remember the song? Let's see. I got it right here. Let me look it up. Hold up. Can't Tell Me Nothing, Kanye West. Yeah, you know the song, right?
Well, of course I do.
Okay. Do you remember some of the lines in that song? Does anybody in the chat remember some of the things he was saying back then? Can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money right. He's talking a lot about jewels and God and all these things.
Yeah. A lot of those elements
they're playing out right now, I think, in some ways. So I would love to hear your perspective and your thoughts first before I just like blow all this up. So.
Well, the problem is the interview of the podcast that really broke it all out, like in terms of him saying these kind of things. You can't find that podcast, that video on YouTube. I haven't been looking for it. I'm trying to look on different parts.
It's gone. I'm looking at the Drink Champs with Noriega.
Yeah, Drink Champs that's hosted by Noriega. Shout out to Noriega, underrated rapper.
I love Noriega, bro.
Yeah, he didn't get a lot of, it's interesting how like it's Joe Budden, there's like Noriega, these guys able to have like a second like coming in terms of being great interviewers and doing content creation, also stuff like that. But the problem is with this interview with Kanye, it's not on the internet as far as YouTube or Reddit. I'm sure I could find it if I took more time. So I was only able to find this one clip of it on Twitter. So a minute and 34 seconds. Let me play it real quick.
For the Jewish people, what I'm doing is I'm Me Tooing the Jewish culture. I'm saying y'all got to stand up and admit to what y'all been doing. And y'all just got away with it for so long that y'all don't even realize what y'all doing. And it's like, y'all can't fuck with me either because y'all behind that gated fence. Y'all soft. Your hands got soft. You ain't out here getting beat up every day like me. You ain't out here getting called crazy every day like me. You ain't out here getting your family snatched like me. You ain't out here half your culture getting aborted like me. You ain't out here getting outraged with false narratives like BLM like me. So for all the Jewish media, y'all want to sit down and have a conversation with me? Then let's have a conversation. But you ain't gonna send Harley Pasternak, Puff Daddy, Meek Mills, Kim Kardashian, none of the usual suspects and get me to stop talking. You're going to have to take my life. I don't care if you Black Mirror me. I don't care if you do some of the alternative, what the thing was, show me talking, saying somebody didn't say. I don't care if you have me fucking a goat on camera. I don't care what you do. You're going to have, yeah. And by the way, and if you take my life, there's gonna be some college kid, some young Ye, some young Pac that's gonna even go harder. It's gonna, y'all thought George Floyd was gonna send it up. If you took my life right now, you're gonna see something you never saw.
All right. So very strong comments from Kanye. So, okay. So, before we started, maybe a week ago or a couple of days, Pedro sent me a message. He said, "Hey, you want to talk about this Kanye thing?" And we send voice messages at times. It's easy to, than text sometimes, right?
Yeah.
We run around. We're very busy men. We're busy men. Anyway, I replied back to him, and I'm like whispering on the phone, like, "You gotta be careful, man, because you don't know what's
this is all facts right now."
Because
tell them
if you say certain things weird, like, because there's certain things. All right, so
they're listening.
All right,
they're listening.
The problem is with Kanye, not again, I don't know his medical history, but when you're not medicated, your delivery of what you're trying to say will be skewed, right?
Yeah.
When you say all of a group, you got to be careful when you say all of a group. When you say all Black people got to do this, well, then you're saying all Black people or all white. It doesn't matter. So there's a few pieces of the conversation that I can't find, but he was saying that there's certain people who are Jewish who run Hollywood and run the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded like he was trying to say is they needed help him or help the Black community more. Mm-hmm. Now, if he would have said like that, maybe it wouldn't be considered anti-Semitic. But he also said, and I didn't get a clip of this, but he did say, I heard it from his mouth in the same interview. He said, "I can be anti-Semitic. They can't drop me. They can't kick me out of my deals." Unfortunately, they have. Adidas has dropped him, which is weird. They had dropped him, but they're gonna still sell his merch without his name, meaning he's still getting paid. So they didn't drop him. He's getting kicked out of was it ACAA? That's that agency for actors, whatever. He had a sports agency. Those players left. I think it was Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown. They left him. He has no way to distribute a lot of his materials right now. He is no longer a billionaire. According to Forbes, he is down hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't think he cares about money. This is my outlandish take, and we'll play with 50 Cent said about him too.
Yes,
Possible this guy wanted to get out of every single contract with these companies, and he is like, I'm gonna say the most outlandish things. Now he may actually believe some of this. Do I think he's anti-Semitic? No. I think he is saying a lot of stuff that can get him in trouble. That's all I'm gonna say. He is saying some stuff that he can get himself beyond just losing money. I'm sorry I sound so cryptic, but
you're saying that he's doing this on purpose. Is that your opinion?
My opinion is he wanted to get out a lot of these contracts, that he doesn't like how some of the companies are distributing his materials. This would be a way of doing it without breaching contract. That I'm going to be so ridiculous, get kicked out of all these things so I could do everything on my own. Or he is just losing it. What say you?
Oh man, here we go. I feel like I have so much to say, and I'm not going to be scripted. I'm just gonna just go. Okay.
Hmm.
I love Kanye West. Clearly, he's maybe not on his meds, or I think he said he's
We don't
bipolar.
know, but I think
We don't
he
know,
says,
right? So
yeah.
all we can do is assume. And when we're talking about things like that, I want to have empathy with that, because that's a serious issue. And the one thing we like to do in this country, and what the media likes to do, is break a man down, right? And people see Kanye or see other people acting crazy, and the media loves it because people love that shit. They love it. And I feel bad in that regard. But Kanye West is not a dumb man on his meds or off his meds. You don't get to the point that he's gotten from the south side of Chicago without being smart. He's on a different wavelength than most human beings. That's my opinion. It's not a fact. It's my opinion. I think he thinks differently.
Yeah.
He made a comment in the last week, Adidas ain't gonna, they can't thrive without me. They ain't gonna drop me. Well, they dropped him. Funny thing about that is, right now online, Yeezys are selling for 50% over market value than they were 2 days ago.
Yeah, he
So
still has value. So they're
yeah, the
trying to
Yeezy shoe
cancel him,
right
but
now is actually being sold for more than it was. It's being sold right now. Resale value is worth more now than it was 2 days ago.
yeah.
So you're not going to cancel Kanye West. That's not going to happen. He still has a lot of money. He's lost a lot, I guess. I don't know. It's all net worth is a weird thing, right?
Yeah, it's changed by the year.
It's not
He's still
cash. He didn't
he's
lose.
not
He
poor.
didn't lose $400 million cash. Like, it doesn't work
No,
like that, right?
no.
So when somebody says they're a billionaire, they don't have $1 billion in cash, right?
Mm-mm.
I stand with Kanye West. I'll say that. Do I think it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And Kanye West don't hold punches. So your biggest strength can be your biggest weakness at the same time. And Kanye West's biggest strength is his bravado and his confidence to say his piece and to say his truth. And people love that. But the weakness in that is when you go after a whole group of people, that's not right. You should go after individuals. So if
Yeah.
and I'm sure he knows these individuals, and he should have just went after the few individuals that he feels maybe they're taking advantage of people, situations, contracts. He said he wants to get a group of people together with the artists, and let's look at these contracts. I've heard of,
Yeah, he said Jew, but then he used the word Jewish media. I'm like, yes, that's not going to work.
that's not how you do it, right? So
Yeah.
he got to be better than that. But at the end of the day, like, if he does it the right way, are we really having this conversation? Probably not. And I think he knows that.
Yeah.
Do I think he said things that were wrong? I think the way he said it was wrong. But is he speaking facts? Yeah, I think he is, actually.
Well, that's one group of people you cannot disparage. You disparage Jewish people, you will go down.
Yes.
That's obviously, right? And some people say Kanye said some stuff about black people, he didn't get canceled. Well, that's the difference between another thing too that's weird. We equate black people and Jewish people. Jewish is religion, so it's not the same as being. You could be
Good
there's
point.
black Jewish people.
There
There's
are.
black Hasidic Jews. They got the whole outfit on. So it's not black people. We're not all one religion. So that but a lot of the industries that he's talking about are run with people who are Jewish.
Mhm.
But again, not every Jewish person is a billionaire running companies. No,
Yeah.
they're just most of them are just average people. So his delivery is always off. For the most part, especially when he gets angry or
It
gets
is.
passionate.
Yes.
That's why in the documentary, when he gets really, really passionate, when he gets into the political realm, the guy that was filming him would turn off the camera.
Yeah.
They would hide it. And he is being provocative. I think he is being provocative on purpose. Is he trying to really create a conversation when now, the neo-Nazis are saying Kanye is right? Does Kanye want to be associated with those people? I think in my heart, I don't think he does.
No.
But now they're co-opting. And that's the thing too about him being on the far right. He has some good points about how many black babies have been aborted. That's a legit situation that most people do not want to talk about.
Well,
Right?
the thing is, that's a very hard conversation to have, right?
Exactly. But
I mean,
him being so provocative, he's throwing so many different things at us. The way he handled his situation with his ex-wife, that's not healthy for his children. It's just so many things, and like he could be right in this instance, but wrong in so many others. And do I think he's going to be canceled? Like, they're trying. The guy is too talented, and he's worth too much to too many people. Like the fact that you said, all he has to do is basically say, redo, like basically make a statement, say that he said some things off, and some of these companies may come right back to him. Even not, he is too valuable. If they sell, if someone somewhere in some company will look at his numbers and those shoes, those weird shoes that sell really well, and the other
they've gotten
outfits and
uglier.
shirts that
Don't you
get
think
sold
they've
out.
gotten uglier as time has gone?
Someone's
Like
gonna
they've
take-
gotten, yeah.
I would agree. I think the ones that we thought was bad, the lime green and the red and black, those boosters, whatever, they look all right to me. I wouldn't buy them, but I'm like, it looks like a decent shoe. It looks comfortable. I don't know. Hopefully they be comfortable.
I've never owned a pair. Would never buy a pair. Yeah, I'm good.
I can't afford it.
He
takes a lot of his art from, like, there's some Asian elements to it. Some of his artwork, some of like a lot of the what was that one album cover, Graduation? I think he may have went to an Asian artist for that. Like it was like a Picasso mosaic kind of thing. So he's definitely going to like a Europe Asian style. And if you're not into that, the drip, you're not going to take that drip.
But that's high fashion. I think we have to understand a lot of the money that's being spent. When you look at Balenciaga got rid of the contract with him, like that's high fashion. Like we're not, the people watching now and listening and us, like we ain't never wearing that. We don't even know how to pronounce the name sometimes. Like that's a
Balenciaga. This shit looks so weird. It looks so weird. Everything,
like
the shoes,
I'm
like, who's wearing this?
Yeah, but I think he's we talk about this podcast is talking, Kanye getting canceled. He ain't going anywhere. I think he needs to. I think a lot's happened. The man's been divorced and this and that. The Kardashians, man, we should have a podcast about them. Them ladies I don't listen. I'm not a fan. I think that whole family, starting with the mom, I think they're cuckoos. I think they're crazy. I think it's wild what they do over there.
I would say there's one positive thing about her. And it kind of started, I think she started to realize her life is such a vapid, there's no real importance there. And then she started to do the criminal justice stuff where she was able to get a few people out of jail just by her having money.
That's positive, yeah. But we don't hear enough about that. Yeah,
that's it.
I agree.
Everything else is your mom basically choreographing and picking which porn videos to leak. That's unhealthy behavior.
It's awful.
I think the reason why they were always had money because their father was a damn good lawyer. I mean, that's the whole. Their claim to fame was Robert. I think his name was Robert Kardashian.
Kardashian. O.J. Simpson. He was one of O.J. Simpson's.
The dream. That was a dream team of lawyers that got a man who basically killed these two people and got them off. He did it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any controversy, right?
No.
O.J. killed those two people.
Yes.
The woman was cheating on him and he lost his mind.
Yes.
So they always had money, but I guess the mom went like, we gotta stay super rich, so we're gonna we see Paris Hilton losing her mind, we gotta go all in, even better than her, leak a sex tape, and now it's a weird situation. Actually, let me throw in with another smart man. 50 Cent talked about Kanye.
Let's watch this.
Yeah, this is about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Let's put this on right now.
But everything going on with Ye, do you think Ye's gonna have a hard time dealing with business from now on, dealing with manufacturers, companies, and all that?
I think, yeah. Because look, when you personalize, when things hit people personally, they are affected by it personally. So they using their personal judgment with what they want to work, who they would want to work with, who not. And when you say things that it affects people in a different ways, Sean, man. It's like when I tell, even when the boy, what's his name, came around in 6ix9ine, I was saying, if you got a problem, have a problem with the person you have a problem with. Don't have a problem with all of Chicago.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? And then what he's saying is really broad. So you really don't know who you started beef with just now. Right. Like who really is affected by it and dislikes you for saying that and saying, I'm just tired of you being around here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this 48 laws of power say. Don't offend the wrong person.
Yeah, it don't take much. You know, people in positions that they can block what you got coming.
Point.
50 Cent's a smart dude. Like, I could listen to him talk all day.
You know, we kind of talked about him and his son and how we think he's not doing enough. But 50
actually,
Cent
if
is
you
a
want later
businessman.
on, I actually got another video talking about the response. So we got that going. I mean, I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
But because I think fatherhood is something we're going to be talking about a lot. And I want you to play it. Same interview. I'm gonna play it and I want your response. But yeah, let's go back to what he was saying. Yeah, I mean that's hood stuff, right? Like you had a problem with one person or issue with one, keep it to that one person. Because when you say fuck you and fuck all the rest of y'all niggas, like, oh, really? you just made it a bigger deal now where it was just individual and at least in terms of certain situations, that if two people have a problem, all right, y'all fight it out or y'all work it out. We stand back and we let y'all do your thing. But then y'all say when he says, well, your whole group is a problem. That's where
that's the issue, what 50 Cent's saying there is like, you're going at a whole group, you don't even know who, what they can do to you, right? And so we see the reaction of Adidas and Balenciaga and YouTube and all these other outlets on social media pulling the podcast because they don't want that hate speech out there, as they're calling it, which I get it.
I would like to listen to the whole thing.
I know.
I don't like when they do that, and then they're working. They're trying to help us. You can't listen to that. Well, I want to see the whole thing in context,
right?
Because if he was such a anti-Semitic guy, why Noriega was basically like, like I understand he's an interviewer and you don't want to attack the guest, but Noriega could have challenged him with some stuff, or he was maybe halfway agreeing with him, right? And that's why he had to call a radio station. He's like, I'm sorry, I messed up. Like he didn't want his money.
Yeah.
This is like that's what 50 Cent was saying. Like you have to be more what's more strategy to what you're saying instead of what you're doing, because you're hitting the wrong people, and he's a very powerful people. That's what Kanye.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. So Kanye is talking about in his song 12 years ago. You can't tell me nothing. Wait till I get my money right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Like, so Kanye West got a lot of money. Yeah, and what's more important, what's even bigger than money in some regards in today's society is influence. Okay. Yeah. And power and exposure. And Kanye West has that. He's in the top 10 in probably the world of that right now. I would say
he's one of the most famous people in the world.
Exactly. So he knows that. He's smart enough to know that, right? So he's messing with the people, but I think he might be doing it on purpose. And I can see a couple of years from now him coming on the top of this and actually winning, and him making his own stuff and him having his own brands and going beyond, getting that money back. And I think he's a very religious man. Okay. His faith is extremely important to him. And I think he's holding on to that and saying, hey, I'm a billionaire. Like, forget the money. I want to speak what I think is my truth, regardless if we believe in it or not. Right. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. And he's trying to hold his integrity. And I can respect that. But he's got to, like I said, it's like your biggest strength is your biggest weakness. And right now, he looks weak to a lot of people because he's putting in a whole group of people. And that's a group of people you can't do that. You can't. And what's crazy is we can talk about, and people will talk about Black people, Mexicans, they'll talk about gay people, talk about transgenders, they'll talk about, all these other groups of people, and you're not going to get canceled. But you talk about Jewish people and you get canceled. So
can't do that, man.
You can't do that, right? So,
to you.
But why? So it goes to Kanye's point. Like, why can I say all these things, but I can talk about my own people, but I can't talk about these. So it's weird. And I'm too ignorant to understand the whole history of all this. And I just am, right?
Well, anti-Semitism or the attack on Jewish people obviously has been long documented. The amount of people that died,
the Bible and everything. Yeah.
So it's kind of way back, and And there's certain cultures that, sometimes I envy Jewish people, especially the ones that live near my area, how together they are, right? They hold each other down. They don't fight each other. They probably
They
do. They
don't.
don't. It's not
They
out on the
don't.
street, right? Like but they're so together. It feels like a cult. They all dress.
And Kanye has been on record saying he's envious of that. He's
Yes.
jealous of that. He wants the black people, his
Yes.
people, to have that.
Yes.
Right. So I think he's almost like a little mad at that. He's jealous of it. It's a weird situation.
I believe so. Yeah, I agree. I think we look at cultures that seem like they have each other's back.
Yeah.
They're not attacking each other. It's right now in New York City, there is so many shootings, so many people hurt, and it's all kids looking like my skin color,
Yeah.
hurting other people with my skin color. We all just keep doing it, but that's how black people are. We're not one group. We're not following the same religion. Just black Christians, is black, Muslims. We're not in all group, and we keep trying to cram everyone together, and it just doesn't work. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. But I think Kanye is too talented to be canceled. I think he needs to clarify some things.
Do you think he will? Do you think he will come out with a statement? And you think so?
Yeah, not apology. I don't think he's going to apologize, but someone close to him that he trusts needs to tell him to rein it in a little bit. I still think he wanted to get out of these groups. I don't know if he was a fan of Adidas. He's so creatively driven that if certain things are not the way he wants them to do, then he wants to get out of them. Yeah. So he didn't like the Gap, right? I think he had problems with Gap. I think in terms of whatever they were doing with the clothes, he didn't want to be there. I don't know if he had problems with Adidas, but he said he wants to get out of these certain types of things, these contracts, and you can't just get out unless you just go crazy.
So do you think that's where? Do you think? Let's just go conspiracy here. Like, let's just assume, okay, because we don't know. Mm-hmm. Do you think that was part of the issue? Is he had these contracts and he didn't feel like his creative was being respected, and these contracts were with people that maybe they're Jewish or not? I have no idea. Yeah. Okay, but do you think that? And he just went about it the wrong way, and this was his way of getting out of it?
It's possible, but we are just speculating. But
yeah.
He's always had a fight from the very beginning when he decided to get into fashion, that they weren't taking him seriously. It's very similar to his musical career. Yeah, he was a guy that was making beats, and everyone thought that's all he could have done. Mm-hmm. You're just the guy who makes the beats. You're not a rapper. He had to force himself in that industry to become who he is on the musical end. Yep. And he has to force himself. And at this point, I don't know why he still thinks he needs to do that. Because you're established, you got the brand, you got these clothes that people want to buy and spend a lot of money. You are a part of the high
but I don't think that's enough for him. I think based on things I've heard him say and how he's speaking, he wants more. He wants his own city, town, country. He wants all these things.
Yeah.
And I think he did it in the music industry, and he was successful, and he broke down those walls and those barriers. He kind of gave a middle finger to Rockefeller and all this, and he made songs about it. You guys ain't backing me. And he did his own thing. He won Grammys and all this stuff on his first album, and then it just skyrocketed. And he's doing a similar thing now. He's like, forget y'all. Like, I'm beyond y'all. If y'all ain't gonna back me, nah. Like he's been on record saying, I'm the next Ralph Lauren, I'm the next Walt Disney, I'm the next Einstein, I am Steve Jobs. I need somebody to hear me. And I think he's fed up. And he's just not, his ego's so big, it's like I said, I keep saying it, but like, your biggest strength is your biggest weakness in most human beings. And I think the same can be said for him. And I think he thinks differently, and he's thinking beyond, he's in a different area. And, I don't know if that's because of his faith or, that pushes him. And he's saying like God's speaking to him, and like things are happening in that way. And it's wild, man. Like he's so talented in the ways that we want, in our own selfish ways. I just want Kanye West to make music. I don't buy his clothes. Okay. I don't have the money for that. I want him to make music for my own selfish reasons, because I love what he makes and what he produces.
Yeah.
But like, I think he's just over that because he can't do anything else musically. He can come out with an album next week that could be a great album, and it's not going to be like, he's not going to shape the world that way. I think he's looking beyond that. I think he's frustrated, and he doesn't know, because he's maybe off his meds, how to deal with the frustration.
Yeah. Matthew Green had a good comment. He said, "What you think Kanye raps for? So you can push a rap for?"
Exactly.
And then Steve, shout out to the Rideshare Rodeo, our friend.
He has a rap.
He has a rap for. There's nothing wrong with a rap for. It's just, Kanye wants to probably drive the Maybach or the whatever hundreds of $1,000 cars.
Nah, Kanye's trying to get on the Elon Musk spaceship. He's like, fuck the RAV4. Fuck
he's on the
trying
way.
to get on the spaceship.
He has these connections with multi-billion-dollar brands, and it's like, that's not enough. That's not clearly right. That he's not satisfied with these business relationships.
No.
And everyone's like, he's fumbling the bag. Does he care? Money is, he's not going to go poor.
Yeah,
poor is not something he's going to deal with. He has kids with a woman that's in $1 billion family. So money is no longer a thing for him. Clearly, if it was, he would be happy and he wouldn't be, fighting against the machine. So he's definitely looking for something more substantive. I think, like you say, I agree. I think he wants to really push culturally. Like he wants to push conversation. He wants to push this, and he's doing it in a really sloppily delivered way. So now all of a sudden, like some black people don't like him because of the slavery is not his choice. Obviously, Jewish people, leftists don't like him.
The White Lives Matter shirt and all that.
So all these issues are all over the place. But we'll see. I mean, I think this is definitely not going to be the last time we talk about Kanye West. Definitely. We'll see. I mean, I hope Watch the Throne 2 comes out. Who knows?
Listen, I was listening. So to talk about what we were listening to, I was listening to a little Ye today. I was listening to a little Meek Mill. I'm not a huge Meek Mill fan, but I was listening to him a little bit today because I think Kanye, something I listened to, he mentioned him. I'm like, let me get into that because, Philadelphia Phillies and baseball are getting a World Series, and Meek Mill has kind of like he has the anthem for that whole city.
Yeah, he's Philly. Yeah, he's Philly.
He's Philly, like deep. So I was listening to a little bit of that, and I don't know. I wish he would make music, but I think he's beyond that, and I think Kanye's. I think it's going to be interesting, man. He's talking about they're going to kill me, they can't kill me. Like it's almost like tomorrow. If something happened, I wouldn't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? Like
right,
I think
something crazy, right?
Yeah, So
do you think Bobby says his legacy will be tainted? Do you agree?
I do not agree with that. No, because I think it depends on what you define as legacy. Number one, so do you define legacy as money and what the normal people in Hollywood could, say, oh, we love you. But I think he's beyond that. I really do. I think he's more of the guy that we're going to appreciate later, right? I think we're going to appreciate Kanye West 50 years from now more than we appreciate him right now. I could be wrong, but that's how I look at it. I think history is going to appreciate him later on versus right now.
And I think, we're good. And let's read these last two comments, because I think they're pretty good. He wants people to know the truth behind the scenes. That's why I was whispering to Paige. I'm like, listen, we're going to get in trouble. We can't talk about this.
Listen, that's a fact. Listen, that's the best comment of the night, because I think we have to understand Kanye West has been the Kardashians are a big deal in this world. He's in that family. I think that relationship allowed him to some doors being opened.
You saw some weird stuff.
He saw some things, conversations, the backdoor deals. He's like, man, these, I'm from South Side Chicago, where people that look like me go to jail for 20 years for some dope. And now I see these people, white collar crime, they're doing way worse things.
No, I would imagine he's been in some weird parties and all types of things. And
I agree with that.
Nova Dasher says Kanye is fighting multiple wars at the same time. He needs to do one at a time. That's a good comment too. I think sometimes, with his mind, I'm sure he has like ADHD kind of mind where so many ideas are flying at him at the same time, and he has thoughts about this and that, and he really needs to kind of focus on one issue at a time. I think right now, he wants to get his fashion stuff in the right direction, and it's possible he did not like these business contracts. He did not want to be associated, and maybe this is his way of breaking out. That's the only thing I could think of. But we'll see.
We'll see.
So speaking of, we just showed a conversation about 50 Cent talking about Kanye and his mistakes, but they did ask him about his relationship with his son. So we talked about this maybe an episode 2 ago, where Marquise Jackson, that's Curtis Jackson's son, wants a relationship with his father now. He even though before that he said $6,700 a month was not enough to live in New York City. And 50 Cent kind of came back with like, I don't want to talk to you. And a lot, and I think we kind of, or at least I remember saying, it is on 50 Cent. He's the father. He needs to try to at least talk to him, right? Even though it's a terrible situation where the mother is probably poisoning the well of that relationship by things didn't work out and whatever the issue's been happening. But he has another son now, and he's showering that child with love. Yeah. It just seems a little bit like he needs to step up and talk to this boy. Or he's not a boy now; he's a young man. So I'm gonna play this clip. It's 2 minutes. They're gonna ask him about the situation with his son.
Mm-hmm. Phil, everybody wants to know: is there a possibility of you? Actually, your son wants to sit down with you.
No, he doesn't. See, Charlamagne, you would call me. You don't call TMZ to say you want to sit down. Think about it, man. You want some attention. And it's okay. You can have as much of that as you want. It's just like he's been trained to believe what you see him say in that interview, that what he was saying, he's been trained to believe that for a long time, bro. Like, you don't just wake up and say, oh, well, I don't believe what I've been believing forever. You know what I mean? Like when I said that he's entitled, really it's his mom's entitlement. It's been filtered. See, when I told you I was giving out $500,000 a year. They go through the paperwork, they say $500,000 a year. Well, at that point, she still was expecting more. This is why I took her to child support. You don't usually sign up for child support. Like I took myself to child support because she wasn't understanding that I'm already giving you more than you're supposed to get. Then when it turns into the $6,700, that's not enough, and it's never going to be enough. Mm-hmm. But remember me constantly coming to you and talking to you about she don't want to work. She need to get a job. She didn't hear me.
Yeah, you used to always say he's almost 18. The child support's going to be up.
It's going to be up soon. And you don't see it because that's not real to them. They just live in the moment, and it's fine. I'll take care of it on the next thing when it comes. The next check's coming in every month. Like I don't feel the pressure or resentment that men feel with child support because I take care of it when the problems happen. Mm-hmm. Meaning I took the money and moved.
So I don't know if it's a little difficult to hear, but basically what happened is that he doesn't think his son wants to really talk to him. He still thinks that he is still being influenced by his mother. Mm-hmm. He actually was giving his mother $500,000
a year, more than he was supposed to.
More he was getting. She thought it wasn't enough, to a point where he took himself to child support, go take himself to court to evaluate how much he should pay. And he was able to get him only to get, not convinced, but the court allowed $6,700 a month compared to
$500 million.
500. So,
or 500,000. I'm sorry.
500,000 a year. What I think is happening, 50 Cent does not like his son of how he become. He looks at his son as looked at his baby mother, and he doesn't respect his baby mom. It like I said, entitled. 50 Cent came from nothing and built himself up, and he looks at the boy or the young man that looks like him and is complaining about, I'm not getting enough money. Yeah. When he didn't have enough money, he went and got it. He went and built it. And he's like, you look like me.
He's like, he's looking at him like he's weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even want to talk to you.
Damn. That's sad. It's sad, man.
I think now I realize a little bit, like, you're just like your mother. And he doesn't like obviously he does not like that woman. And he can't he can't separate the mother influence from that child, and I don't think they'll ever talk. And he thinks Marquise wants to talk to him because he wants some money. And he's like, well, if I get a good relationship with this guy, maybe I get some money out of him because now I'm an adult and I just want to talk. I just want to work it out. And he's probably thinking he wants money because he said, you don't stop believing what you believed. Like, there's a lot of philosophy and like sageness that's coming out of 50 when he's speaking. But what's your thoughts?
No, I think you hit it on the head, man. I think, when he began when that clip began, he talked about, hey, you want to talk to me? Like, you don't go through TMZ. You got my number, right? So if you really want a relationship with me, you call or text me.
Yeah.
Why are you going to the media? It makes it look like a little snakish, right? So I get that. It's hard for me to, do I think 50 Cent's wrong in what he's saying? I don't. But like, it's still he's a man, but that's still his child. I said, that's his son.
Yeah. Yeah.
So regardless of how you feel about the mom, and if you feel the one thing I said to 50 Cent is, if you feel like your son has been manipulated by a woman that you had a kid with because she feels a certain type of way and doesn't want to work, and she feels she deserves $10 million a year because whatever. So is that your son's fault or is that her fault? So you're going to hold your son to you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if you're saying he's been manipulated, he's just like his mom, well, that's not on him then, right? So at what point do you not go through Charlemagne the God in the Breakfast Club, and maybe he's done it? You call your son and say, hey man, let's get out of this country for a week. Let's go spend some time together. Let's just forget all this shit, forget the media. Let's just go spend some time together for a week. We can ride bikes, we could do this, we could blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Right? So if you feel like your son is being manipulated by a woman that you don't like and respect, as a man, as a father, don't you feel the responsibility to fix that? That's the only thing I would say.
It's a good point. I think it's stronger than just dislike for him. I think he says there's no hate. I think there is.
It's like
of his mother, of that, disdain. Like, you have raised this boy to not work hard, not to go get it. Everything opposite of how 50 built himself.
Yeah, but does he expect his son to be on the block and get shot? You shouldn't want that for your kid.
He's also thinking damn, I set you up and you talking to people about $6,700 a month in New York City is enough money. That's a lot of money. You're comfortable. So like, I think even things like that like bothered him, because that's what happened with self-made people. Like, self-made people have no patience. Like, the people who are on top of their profession, doesn't matter what it is, right? Like, I'm trying to think, even basketball terms, certain really high, like your best basketball player has no patience when you can't ball, right?
Michael Jordan ain't got no patience. He can never be a coach,
MJ, Kobe, they'll dress you down, they'll demasculate you. They have no patience for you. Deion Sanders was talking about coaching. He coached at Jackson State. And the guy's like, you think you ever coach the NFL? He's like, no. Because the moment that we'll go to halftime, we may come back with half the team.
Yeah, but I'll say this: shout out to Deion Sanders. He's killing it. I love what he's doing in Jackson State. I love what he's doing.
I like the colors. I like that navy blue.
Yeah.
But he's like, because these guys don't love the game in a way that I will lose my mind. He's like, I'm gonna hurt somebody because he's one of the greatest football players who ever played. Like, so I feel like there's a level that we don't have, right, in terms of success and
clearly
drive.
Yeah.
And if your son doesn't represent that, and then on top of he's disrespectful, right? It's entitled. He's like, I don't even want to deal with that kid.
Hannibal, do you think he thinks his son's soft?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you think that that's part of the issue there? Because 50 ain't soft. 50 is 11 years old on the block. Like, he ain't soft, right? And you think he looks at his son like he's soft, like a Twinkie feeling, like he ain't that guy. And you think that that's part of the issue? It's
part of the issue. And the problem is his other son is going to be privileged, but he says he has a good relationship with that woman because they're not together, and he can instill some because he's able to raise this child compared to Marquise, where it seemed like it was always a problem.
Right.
And also he he was working a lot, traveling. He was, one of the biggest rap stars ever. Maybe if he stayed around longer, stayed in the community, maybe he was able to have reach his son. So I do agree with you. I think going back, he should still try to make this work. But I feel a lot of what 50 Cent is feeling in terms of, it's like, if you don't like the person that you created a child with, and also another thing too, don't have sex and have babies with people you don't like.
Bingo.
Right?
What did we talk about last week? We need a sponsor for this podcast. Magnum, Skins, whatever. Reach out to us, gentlemen. If you got money, even if you don't, gentlemen, if you don't want to have a baby with a woman, put a condom on.
Just put a condom on.
Concept. Very simple.
It's really that simple, because I can't, like I said, we can't vouch for like, well, you gotta just let it go. No, you created this. It's a part of it, and yes, it's. I could see why you could say, hey, you know what? This is a problem, and that's over 20 years of you, Barbie, looking like a bad guy. But you don't have to give him any money. You at least talk to him and say, this is the things that I think that you're failing on. I'm not giving you a dime. Go out there and earn it. Go out there and show that you have some ability.
Right.
Put something together. Make me proud for once.
Well, you know what?
Maybe something will work.
Now that you're saying that, maybe 50 Cent's giving him tough love. Maybe he's like,
so.
I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he's looking at it like, all right, you know what? No, I'm not gonna give you what you want. 600-700. Go make it how I made it. Maybe in the long term, that's gonna benefit Marcus. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, what's the better chance of happening? Kanye West apologizing to all the Jews, or 50 Cent and Marquise making up? Which one do you think is less or more likely to happen?
That's a great question, because Kanye West is all over the place. So like, if there was a statement tomorrow, I would not be surprised. So it's,
right.
Yeah,
Kanye
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a coin flip, man. Okay, I'll say this: 5 years from now, do I think 50 Cent and Marcus will have a better relationship? I hope so, and yes.
Yeah.
But yes, I guess I'd have to go with the 50 Cent side. But at this point, with these kind of guys, like, we got to understand we're dealing with not even 1%ers. These are like 1/10 percenters. These are gentlemen that are highly skilled, highly motivated, talented individuals with a lot of business sense, a lot of swagger, they both came from the street. So these guys know what they're doing. So I don't know. I mean, I wish the best for Kanye. I just want him to do what he's got to do for his family, and hopefully that gets good, and he can just go to Wyoming and build whatever he wants to build over there, and he can just get some peace. Yeah. And I hope at some point 50 Cent has a better relationship with his son, because I think at the end of the day, when 50 Cent's a 80-year-old man or whatever on his deathbed, he's going to resent and maybe regret not having a better relationship with his kid.
Well said. I do agree. I think you need to work it out. Stop being so petty.
Kanye.
Petty is Miller's name. His son is petty. He's petty.
Yeah,
they kind of come together. Yeah. The last comment I think we'll read from boy Bobby. Kanye will be engaged to a Jewish woman in 6 months. That is like a legit bet. Like, I'll bet on that one.
Listen, I'll
put some money on it. It's possible.
Based on Kanye West's dating history, if that Jewish woman has a big booty, you're probably right.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I could talk about this. I've had sex with a Jewish woman before. You know what? Yeah, I have.
That's hilarious.
They're good people, right?
Well,
so hopefully
you're gonna get us canceled. Our YouTube channel will probably be taken down tomorrow because Hannibal said, "I've had sex with a Jewish woman before."
It was a positive experience. Is what I'm trying to say. So
you know what?
Please, YouTube gods.
Let me go to my bank here, my memory bank. I don't think I've had sex with a Jewish woman, and if I did, I didn't know she was Jewish. I'll just say that.
Yeah,
and I love everybody. I love everybody.
She was like devout, but yeah, she was. Yeah, she was.
That's interesting. That's a whole other podcast, bro.
Yeah, we could talk about that later if you want. Nova, I'm not answering that question. How was it out of 10?
We're not doing that. We're not that creepy, guys. We're not.
No, we're not. Ladies in the chat. We're not. No, but just hit me up on Instagram. Anyway. On that note, I don't know if we're doing the weekend thing, or if we're doing Monday. I guess what
do you guys want? Listen, let's ask. We got some people in here. 13 of y'all. You guys, the people that are here come every week. So you guys are our audience. that come and you guys really show us a lot of support. The channel's growing. We appreciate you guys very, very much. We do Wednesdays, right? So do you guys and just put a couple days in there. Add another day. Do you guys like Mondays or do you like Saturdays? Let us know right now. We can just pause for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, put it
Do
in.
you guys
Let me
like the
know.
weekend? Do you guys like Monday? Do you like Wednesday? What works for y'all?
Yeah, it's I mean, we can go either way. I know we definitely want to do the second show. No, last week we were really, really busy doing 10 other things, so we weren't able to do that. But
yeah, last week we were trying to pay the bills on Saturday. Okay. This Saturday it's different. So
yeah,
we
did Saturday, which is not a problem. I mean, we could do Saturday again. I feel like Mondays were the last Monday we had was pretty strong. It's right after some of the Sunday games and stuff like that, and other stuff that we can be talking about. Obviously, oh, look at that. What days are you less busy?
Monday. I
Bobby said Monday.
Hector says Hector, get out of here, bro. Who said Thursday? Why are you talking Thursday?
No, we can't do Thursdays.
Thursday? What are you talking about?
Read the comment, Pedro.
Wow. Bobby come in with the zingers.
Bobby will get in trouble on Saturdays.
Bobby's he's 7 shots in right now. Yeah.
Yeah. What days we're less busy? I mean, Mondays. I know Mondays had the Monday night game, but those games been terrible. I don't mind. I think we'll be fine. Like 10 o'clock, either who's going to win that game.
Yeah. I mean, we can do next Monday.
Yeah, we know we'll do, but we'll do Monday for Bobby because he's busy on Saturdays and we want him to show up. So
yeah,
just be careful out there.
Bobby is wilding. He's wilding right now for sure. He is.
All right. This was a fun one.
Yeah.
We definitely going to I got a lot to think about it. And I gotta figure out by the time we come back, I'm gonna figure out what the octopus thing is. That's important.
Yes.
The damn Nets lost. I tell you. Anyway,
listen, Ben Simmons has been not good so far. He's not. He's fouling out twice already.
Yeah, it's still
Steve
early.
Steve Nash. If they stay under 500, 20 games in, he's fired. 100%.
Yeah, stop hiring these one time. I know he's a Hall of Fame player. They need to actually spend a lot of time coaching too. It's not just you're a great player, you can just be a great coach. It used to be you was on a coaching staff for 10, 15 years. Then you try. But now like they want to get the next Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr came in with a solid foundation. Like it's not the same. And if they keep trying to find the next Steve Kerr, it's not Steve Kerr that's the issue. And at least Steve Kerr had some coaching stuff, and I think he's a general manager at one point.
No, he wasn't a GM. I don't think.
For the Suns.
Steve Kerr?
Yeah.
No.
I'll look up.
We'll do it right
here.
Look it up right now. I don't think Steve Kerr's ever been a GM. You're wrong about that, bro. Sorry. I think he might have been maybe with the Spurs under Greg Popovich for a couple years, maybe.
Yeah. 10 years. All right, I'll show you real quick before we leave. It may have been something you probably remembered, but I kind of remember for some reason.
GM? No.
Yeah. I took a look back at Steve Kerr's tenure of the Suns 10 years ago.
What? A look back at Steve Kerr's tenure.
I don't know if he was there when he did he do the stupid Shaq trade? Yep, he did. Remember
Steve
when
Kerr was a GM of the Suns? I had no idea, man.
Remember when Shaq went to the Suns?
I do remember that.
He did the trade.
That's when Steve Nash was there. What? That's wild.
Apparently, someone put his grade as the Suns GM as a B. I don't think so. I don't think they were that great.
Well, no, they never won. So, I mean, you can't. I mean, that's interesting. What? That's wild.
Yeah, he drafted a bunch of people. I don't remember Orlando Tucker and DJ Strawberry.
You know what? I remember both those guys. Steve Kerr did play college ball at Arizona, so he has that Phoenix, Arizona kind of connection. Okay. But I had no idea he was a GM, bro. That's crazy. What?
And he drafted Robin Lopez.
Okay, the Lopez twins. Okay, out of Stanford. Okay.
Yeah, Earl Clark.
Earl Clark was Louisville. Louisville.
Yeah, he did some weird trades. But yeah, he wasn't
GM. That's wild. That's crazy.
Hey, listen. I bring all the facts.
Listen, I know about hockey. We're gonna look up the octopus history, and Hannibal knows all the GMs in NBA history for the
And
last 40
octopus
years.
and Jewish women. I'm an expert in all those things. Just we'll talk more about it next episode. It was a good fun one. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.
Peace out.